Morning, Justin. Oh yeah. Yeah, I get ready. Later. Hey, Wolle, get up. It's Bluebird.
I've been searching for just a little more, but the days go just slip away, oh yeah. And the red sunset that we just met, girl, I can see
In the frontier days of snowboarding, a small group of pioneers who weren't afraid to step into the unknown wrote the pages of history and helped shape the identity of snowboarding. Today, some of the best freestyles in the world come to Alaska to push the personal limits and the progression of the sport. The next 6 weeks with this film crew will give you an insight into their Alaskan experience. Meet the crew. Justin Hostenek, Swiss, American, snowboard filmmaker, introvert. Gigi Ruff, Austrian, lives in a parallel reality. Wolle Nivelt, Austrian, aware, polite. Christoph Schmidt, German, reserved, calm. Jules Caesar Raymond, Swiss, laid-back, discreet. Travis Rice, aka Dennis the Menace, American, big in Japan. Nicolas Mueller, Swiss, contemporary Renaissance man. Jonathan Moore, Canadian, deliberate, alternative. Kurt Westell, American, big neck, patience issues. Chris Coulter, New Mexican, first time to Alaska. Sean Dog, Alaskan, head guide and fisherman, optimistic. Welcome to Alaska.
It's a really hard thing to explain to people what big mountain riding is. I could start trying to explain it with it's not your average snowboarding day.
A lot of it's not just the riding, it's everything that goes into it and the preparation, getting onto some of these lines.
Be quiet on takeoffs and landings. When you get in and out of the helicopter, do it gently. No riding or skiing or anything under the rotor disc.
I'm willing
helicopter, it'll be a while.
That stuff over there looks good.
I think being able to spot good and proper terrain to apply oneself on is one of the biggest parts about riding up here in Alaska.
See how big cliffs are, see how steep faces are, how much slough is gonna go. I think that's the hardest part.
Because like flying in the helicopter, you're scouting, and you look at it, you're looking for 2 minutes. Like, oh, gas is burning. This brrr. Oh, drop me off.
So many of the times you're standing looking at a line, you know, mentally putting yourself right there, like, oh yeah, that'll work, and you get up there, and that little pillow that you wanted to drop off to start your line turns out to be, you know, an 80-foot drop into steepness.
It's almost like being in Vegas, where you're sitting in a hotel and you see another big hotel across there, and you don't have like your house from home to put right next to that hotel. You have no perspective. All you see is giant things, and you're like, let's just walk there. You know, the taxi line is pretty big, you know? And like 2 hours later, the hotel is still that big in your view.
I think the hugest one that is so difficult and is so important is just being able to have a good memory, and to be able to look at something and get to the top and invert it and be like, yeah, okay, that's that rock halfway down that I looked at, and I'm just confident. I know that's exactly where I need to be.
Ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dropping.
It's so steep. It's all about managing your speed and slough and knowing exactly what you're going to do on every turn.
Yeah, that's definitely not that sweet. It's like 5 inches of shit pow.
He looks to be all right.
There's just so many variables involved with trying to ride big mountains.
You cannot just roll into it with natural talent and no experience and be good in big mountains. It just doesn't work.
If you really want to push your riding up here, you got to put in your time year in and year out, and it's a long-term commitment where you're not going to see the benefits right away.
Like this year, I finally got to do something I was always aiming forward to ride, and it took me 3 years.
Welcome to AK.
Yeah, dude. Woo! Breaking the rookie in.
You know, you come out here for the first time, and you know, it's good to pair up with someone who knows really what they're doing. And I was lucky enough to do that. I got to ride with like Yannick, Jonathan Moore, Axel, and that, I think, you know, you learn from your elders.
Alaska is definitely a big bird for a snowboarder, and especially for snowboarders that haven't been here, you know?
It's kind of like the final test in big mountain riding, I think. It's like, you know, Chiopu for surfers or pipeline.
You're just like, okay, you know, now I want to ride something bigger. Now I want to ride something bigger. All of a sudden you're in AK and you're like, okay, I think this might be big enough.
Of course, the mountains are huge, but there's huge mountains in Europe and in other places that I think just don't get the snowpack that we get.
Our snow here comes off the Gulf of Alaska, so our storms come in wet. And even when our snow is very dry and very powdery, there are a lot of droplets of liquid water in the cloud. And those help to stick the snow onto steeper slopes.
The terrain just lends itself to snowboarding. It's just the perfect setup.
You know, you can step to big burly lines, or you can find the craziest pillow lines, or you can build a kicker over a roller, you know, if it suits you.
The creativity that you can have up there is like endless, you know. Looking at 1,000-foot transitions instead of 12-foot transitions.
Like in my mind, I look at stuff and it's like sci-fi shredding, where I'm like, yeah, dude, if I was full burl, I could like backside 7 that thing and then ride that switch, you know, and then I'm like, okay, bring it back down to earth here.
I think that's why there's a lot more people up here right now. They see that every day you could go out here and do something that's never been done before, where you go to the Mammoth Park and it's pretty damn hard to like do something that's never been done before.
In the parks, everything has been done, biggest kickers have been hit, so now it comes down to bringing that evolution of the sport to the most progressive terrain there is out there.
And I think that most people have no idea how hard it is to spin a 360 in the middle of a line, because even though that's an easy trick and everyone can do it, to ride up blind with speed and trying to, as you're riding, deal with slough and find the spot, gauge your speed, try to gauge the size of it and actually pull it off is really, really hard. If you're off by 5 or 10 miles an hour, it could be a difference of flying 100 feet. Literally, I mean, that's really high-end snowboarding. Not very many people can do that.
I think Travis Rice is one of the best snowboarders in the world.
He comes from a good pedigree, you know, Jackson Hole. He was brought up with good values, you could say.
I didn't know who he was either. I mean, I knew the name Travis Rice. I'm like, oh, Travis Rice, cool, whatever, another gibber. But he blew my mind. I was just like, holy moly. He throws all the moves, and he does it in the middle of a real run.
Nicholas Mueller too, like he's got a rad, unique perspective. He saw the light, you know what I mean? Like he saw what needed to be done kind of thing. And you know, yet he's a fucking pushing the envelope of freestyle.
I would say it's Swiss, so that will define who he is. Respectful, kind, nice.
Geeky, you know, fun to watch, incredible talent.
It's kind of the same, but it's not Swiss. Gigi for me is an artist because he's so creative.
Romain is really solid.
Romain just don't give a fuck. Just throws caution to the wind and fires it. And has the skills for sure to back it up.
Those guys are obviously the best snowboarders in the world right now. That's the kind of talent that's going to go take and freestyle to the big mountains. You need to be that good and have that kind of motivation.
You can't, like, you know, just take some group of freshly planted Vermonters living in Mammoth, you can't take them up to Alaska and just expect them to excel.
Some people just adapt to this terrain immediately. You have like Mark Frank, who came up here and started doing really next level things right away.
That guy charged it so fucking hard.
He's bringing skateboarding and going huge to Alaska, and that combination is still something that's extremely rare.
Someone that can do contemporary snowboarding but also has a feel for, you know, what's really going on out there.
I just like to ride whatever's out there, whatever's in front of me. Try to be able to do it all.
I think the lifestyles of, say, big mountain riders and freestylers were pretty separated in the past, but in the last, few years, I think respect on both parties' accord has really brought the two cliques together.
down days, which we have quite a lot here in Haynes. I would say about 70% of the time.
Graybird or cloudy or rainy or snowing. Obviously, helicopters can't fly in that type of situation. So those days are just, you do what you gotta do.
Let's have bizarre celebrations. Let's forget who forget, why forget where. We'll have bizarre celebrations. I play the satyr in Cyprus, you the bright beans prepare. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend.
Being up in Alaska, you're pretty disconnected from, I guess, all the bullshit that's going on in the world these days.
Things that would be important in the city, just there's nothing about it up here, you know. Doesn't matter, you know, if you didn't do your hair. Who cares? The bear doesn't give a shit.
Alaskan people are, for the most part, less materialistic than, say, Americans, and a lot more easygoing. And
it just has a real open, free spirit attitude.
What I like the most about Alaska is just how close to nature you are.
Everybody has his gun and his knives. It's the lost frontier, you know.
I like it a lot.
I'll just keep growing younger with you, and you'll grow younger too. Now it seems too lovely to be true, but I know the best things always do. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica.
Woo! He's got it. Yeah!
The early days, you know, big mountain riding, I don't know if there was such a thing, you know. Right from the beginning, people started riding POW, and when POW was on steeper terrain, they started riding steeper terrain.
Just out of necessity, that's all there was to do in the early 90s, late 80s, was just go ride the mountain.
At the time, pipes were 10 feet deep. If you only go 5, 8 feet out of them, it was a joke. I could do that on a skateboard.
You know, you had the guys in Europe who were riding big lines back on winter sticks. They had the Apocalypse Now series.
Regis, with those Apocalypse Now movies, were so over the top, just like pointing these huge faces going 50 miles an hour on a snowboard, riding powder and hitting huge airs, and you're just like, are you kidding me? Like, nowhere else did I remotely see snowboarding like that at that time.
I was a genius with my snowboard, and the bad guy who were in monoski, they tried to catch me.
It was like some mid-80s fucking B-rate Bond footage or something, but the riding was insane. Like, that's all I remember, him going hella fast, just going sick. You can't do that on skis. You can, but they just haven't discovered it yet, you know?
We had no magazine from US, no film, so we invent everything. I ride like 5 years without any edges. I had to make my own board, you know, it was very much the beginning.
That definitely inspired me to do it, you know. I watched that video 50 times, maybe more.
But here in Alaska, it was a little different, and it evolved differently because we have helicopters here and no rules. And as kids, we were able to go walk into our local heliport and say, will you guys take us to the top of that mountain right there? And they said, sure. First they say, do you got any money? And, you know, of course, we'd rob our mom's purses and stuff or whatever it took to come up with $100 to get a couple drops. And they took our snowboards and literally duct taped them to the skids and took us up there. We were totally free balling it. That was probably 1981 or something like that.
They were kind of the earliest that I pretty much know about of guys hailing in Alaska. And when everything started going on in Valdez, they came up there and were kind of the head crew, kind of going out, setting lines.
And word got out quick, and it got out to people like Tom Burt, Jim and Bonnie Zellers, and they showed up, and they were like the first snowboarders on the scene. They were the first snowboarders.
Well, we did the 2800 vertical, one shoot, 45 degrees. I mean, with knee-deep powder, how can it get much better than that? And as far as for most of the American riders, it kind of came together for the first extreme contest in '92 in Valdez. There was 20 people there. So that would be the second generation of mountain riders, kind of the big first push of riding Alaska. But everyone had different ways of pushing things. Tex was pushing the speed. You know, he'd only do 8 turns down a run that everyone else was doing 30 turns down.
The guy was just a total charger, so crazy and so solid.
When I first started riding Alaska, I looked at Tex Davenport, Tom Burt, and Doug Coombs as my main early inspirations.
Tom Burt probably has had the most impact on big mountain riding because he was showing everyone what could be rideable.
He'll go through things where you have to make this turn and that turn and this turn, and whoops, you have to traverse over a bit. And he's got, the math teacher's brain as a former math teacher. He can remember all that stuff.
For me, I kind of know where I'm at, but he knows where he's at. You know?
Tom's always been the one breaking off really, really ridiculous lines.
Just going, that's the last we ever saw Tom Burt. It was like, holy shit, man, just threading the needle so hard.
You look at his line down Cordova Peak, and I don't think anyone would ever ride anything like that again.
It has a lot of potential death on it, basically, a lot of exposure. I had to stare at the Polaroid for 4 days at the bar.
And of course, Craig Kelly, he meant a lot to the sport from the very beginning.
He's just the most amazing, the best style, the most fluid guy out there, and probably had more impact than just about anyone on the way people snowboard.
He's a classic example of do what you gotta do and then until you do what you wanna do, He went out and did the contests and established himself there. Then he had the freedom to go out and do whatever you want to do. And that's when he turned the whole tide to free riding, big mountain riding. It's like, oh, Craig's doing it, and everybody followed.
And I think looking back, there's specific lines that changed my view of the sport. For instance, Dave Hatchett riding Mendenhall Towers. I thought that was a groundbreaking descent for skiing and snowboarding. It was previously thought of as a death wish. It's just so steep and gnarly and exposed.
And Dave was adamant about this run. I was surprised. I go, yeah, Dave, that looks like great snow. Wouldn't that be cool? Kind of jokingly, because I really wanted nothing to do with it.
Everyone was just like, no way. Slasnick, Roach, nobody wanted anything to do with it. Went up there by myself. Everyone was just tripping out that night. Like, everyone was just so excited.
I still remember where I was standing in the supermarket when I picked up the mag and saw that and was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I can't believe you can snowboard down that.
I guess one of the biggest lines I remember in Valdez would have to be Goodwill's jump off a school bus.
It's pretty steep, probably 50-degree slope, down onto, it was like an hourglass where the cliff band was like 300 feet to probably like 70, 75 feet or so.
And he charged the thing and he aired it. I think it was pretty close to 70 or 80 feet. I mean, it's huge.
He had to clear a lot of rock. It wasn't just straight up and down. So he had to leap out over it. That was one of the most impactful moments I've ever had in snowboarding, just to see somebody commit to something that did not look good.
Like me and Craig used to refer to him as that crazy rocker dude from Stevens Pass, because he just came out of nowhere, you know, like random dude from Everett.
And then it was just one trip to Valdez, Alaska, and I found where I belonged.
And then another run that had a huge impact was Super Spines with Noah Selaznick rode them. And it was the first time that I really saw spines ridden on a snowboard.
That was so cool. It was fully like skate influenced in the mountains. Whereas forever guys that would normally shed that stuff, they're keeping both feet on the ground, and all of a sudden he's like doing airs like way up, you know.
I think Farmer probably broke off one of the craziest lines I ever saw. It was the first year in the contest up in Valdez. It had more than 10 different exposures on it and no room for air. That's when I realized that Farmer was really kind of ahead of the rest of the people at the time.
People just didn't understand him. Oh, he's crazy, bro. Fuck, he was a good rider. You know, he had good board control and he knew what he was doing.
Farmer was a talented rider, but Farmer just brought a character to the snow more than anything else.
Greatest fucking rhyme of all time. Drill a hole in your head and pour it into your mind, inject it into your brain. I'm talking mainline.
You know, Farmer used to get on the helicopter with the 12-pack. You know, that was what he took out for the day. He didn't take water, he just took beer.
I mean, that's a whole movie in its own, like trying to explain that guy.
Quotes like, you know, if you try something and it's difficult, just quit. You know.
We'd be leaving a bar. No, I ain't gay. This time of the night, I ain't picky either.
He's Farmer, man. He's one of a kind, and he's real.
We do it my way. What did I say? We do it my way. This is my resume.
He was actually pretty progressive in the early big mountain riding. Him and Nick Parada, they came to Alaska in 1990.
Nick Parada pretty much invented jibbing, as far as I can tell, you know? I mean, that guy was riding on handrails and tree stumps and stuff in '89 and called it jibbing.
I'd have to say nada. He's my equal, I'm a pro, bro. Lethal as a cobra. Ollie up the trail with the pop and crack the sign. Now the whole damn.
Dumbest thing I've ever seen in the big mountains is Rankwit buttering his muffin.
And it was just funny, I just did it to spite Tex.
The innovator.
It was Craig that coined the butter. And he was like, what's that thing you keep doing? And I was like, I don't know, just like nose slide press. Right? It's like, it looks like you're buttering a muffin. And like everyone at the table just started busting up laughing. And just from there, it just stuck, like buttering the muffin, butter, you know.
I have to say Rankwit did a lot in the early days. He's the first guy I ever saw do a tail grab and do a good one, you know? And rode fakie a lot. Really had a good style, you know? Really has a skateboard style, I think.
Yeah, he wanted to get gnarly, and yeah, he wanted to go do Mendenhall Towers or be crazy and, you know, have everyone bow at his feet because he was so extreme. But he really wanted to be a new school bitch at the same time. And ultimately, he applied the two, and that is where I think really that whole genre started.
God. Rankwit, what an insane man.
And then it escalated to people like Johan.
His snowboarding changed totally the way that I look at big mountain. It was just the sickest combination of freestyle in big mountains.
It was like seemingly totally out of control, but always pulling it.
Johan's part in TB5 was amazing. It was really groundbreaking, especially his speed line. I think it made a lot of people realize the potential of big mountain riding, that wasn't just hop turns. And I think it made a lot of people want to go snowboarding.
It was so cool back then in Valdez in the mid-90s. It was just like every day, new things were going down.
Everything was new. You didn't know what was possible, what wasn't possible.
And that's, I think, what really initially pushed big mountain riding to a really high level really fast. I think people just weren't completely aware of, you know, the risks they were taking necessarily all the time.
We were like ice skating with thin ice and warm water, I think, you know? Like, So, say the least.
Because there wasn't any guides or procedure. We didn't have a protocol at all.
It was pretty cowboy back in the day. You just pay either $20 for a plane ride or $40 for the heli ride to go pretty much wherever you want to go. And good luck kind of situation, you know.
We had a Vietnam helicopter pilot that already crashed 2 helis. His idea of avalanche control was shooting his 9mm out of the window of a Bell Ranger that was overloaded.
If you do this and this and this, and if you don't, everybody dies but me. Like, that was a safety briefing. Him screaming at you.
And he would just tell us to get out, whether we liked it when we got there or not.
You'd barely even scope it, and you'd go down this huge face without even really looking at it or thinking about it.
And we were riding on the run together. It was just chaos, really.
And at the time, you don't know it's out of hand. You don't know that this is crazy. You know, it's just like, this is just all you know. I remember at one point, like, just riding with Noah and someone else and realize we've all got 12-gauge shotguns in our fucking bags.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't want to say. I could say that we have. The first few years we went to Alaska, we heard horror stories of wolverines. And the guides would tell us, if you see a wolverine, you take out your ice axe, you form the circle, and someone's going to take the bite, but you bury the axe and they'll get them. We're like, oh my God, really? Next year, we all show up with 9mm, 2 clips in our pack, trying to okay it with a heli guide. Like when we shooting wolverines, snowboard, I don't know what, but everyone showed up with guns. It was a joke. I think the guys are just messing with us, but literally, that's true.
That was the year, like, everyone was getting some dough, you know, all these jackasses were just starting to get paid. So we all go down and buy shotguns because there's a gun store in town. And then Rankwood buys a pistol grip Mossberg, right? We're like trying to shoot skeet. He buys like a Mossberg with a pistol grip.
Freeze!
And he was like standing here with his hand. And he's like, yeah, form, check it out. And the thing goes boom, blows up right next to, it almost blew his foot off, man. It was like an inch from his foot, he's blew a hole in the ground.
I treat every gun as if it's unloaded.
God, such a jackass.
It was an insane time in Valdez. People were insane.
You know, we wrecked rental cars, we blew stuff up.
We drink and go out and shoot ski with the pilot.
Cool. At Chet's old landing pad, you know, like, and the helicopter's right there. You're like swinging a gun right over the fucking helicopter and just barrels of gas over here.
Everyone passed out on the floor of the Sena Lodge, and people slept on the pool table. And Chopper would be sitting right there, and the next day after we partied all night, we'd walk out the door of the bar and get in the bird.
You know, just lots of crazy stuff was happening.
It was kind of the peak of the snowboarding industry, and there was a lot of money flying around, and, you know, nothing like giving a 21 or 22-year-old kid who was a snowboarder $100,000 budget. I mean, you know, there was insanity that followed, and I don't think the insanity level will ever be matched again.
I don't know, there's just something about the human nature that enjoys a little destruction from time to time.
And then after those first few years, they started to try to organize it a bit more because more and more people started showing up.
It was embarrassing. It was like a rock festival. The camping out, the fucking veggie burritos with sprouts. The RVs spent 2 weeks getting up there, man, just checking out America and all that Canada. It's like, dude, come up here for real, not for shits and giggles, you know, like, leave the hippie shit home.
And we started big mountain riding around Juneau, and some of the people who had brains kind of followed us.
I was really glad that Axel was there because he seemed like he knew what was going on, where Farmer and Rankwit were kind of just like sheets to the wind, basically. I remember Rankwit forgot his boots, so he was riding in duct tape sorels.
Rankwit got to the helipad and he realized he didn't have his boots.
I remember like leaving them in the drying room in Japan, knowing I was going straight to Alaska, and like, I gotta get those in the morning.
So Rankwit went in there and got a pair of sorels.
These old glacier boots, like shitty felt liner, just, yeah, they just sit over on their side.
And put those on and duct taped them up.
Everyone's looking at me like, you know, what are you doing? I was like, it's my only option.
And that's what he rode in. There's a pair of sorels with felt liners, and he rode the whole time.
But it proved to be fine. Like, did Mendenhall that year with Axel and Farmer. And it was, you know, one of the heavier runs I'd done up to that point, you know.
Axel is one of the guys that comes first to my mind that kind of led the charge of the next generation after those guys.
He was doing the craziest shit. Like, he was so far ahead of everyone else on our crew. Like, yeah, I ran Quinta, Farmer, and Gnarly, but Axel's like on a whole nother level for me. He was like, I'm gonna go do that. And it was like, you are? And then he'd go do it.
I wouldn't even get out of the helicopter sometimes. Like, a couple times I was like, I ain't going where he's going. That dude's nuts. Fuck that. I ain't dying today.
You know, I would specifically watch the Absinthe movies to see Axel's parts, because I knew he was going, he was pushing it, and he was gonna be doing some of the most progressive free riding of the year.
I really, really enjoyed watching Axel straight line down French fry.
3, 2, 1, dropping.
That was just like, holy dude. It's so committing. You get to a certain speed and you can't shut down your speed. You can't even turn after a certain speed. The only thing that you can do is commit to running it out at the bottom.
You know, he's one of the first Euros to really come to the big mountains in Alaska, and, you know, everybody had this preconceived notion on, you know, Frenchie, you know, that shit does not stink, you know, and all that.
I was on that trip and like, what, some French dudes coming up too? Fuck. You know, like,
I'm not French, I'm Belgian. To me, Belgian and France are pretty much the same place.
I think Axel, coming from the flatlands,
started riding on pretty much carpet slopes.
And winning the King of the Hill is an amazing accomplishment, and I think it's something that kids from around the world should look at for inspiration.
Of course, Jeremy Jones, you know, who keeps blowing me away with the stuff that he goes down. I'm like, oh my God, how does he even get to the top of that thing, let alone down it?
The guy is looking for the most almost unrideable lines up there as far as the entries and the pitch.
It's just amazing. I've never seen anybody with that kind of just knowledge and skill and put it all together and so consistent.
Jeremy is hands down the guy I look up to the most. He's calculated, he's calm, he has an amazing eye for lines, like he always finds the best line on the whole mountain.
The thing about Jeremy that really stands out to me is his memory. So he can just go into a line and also look like he's racing down a set of gates.
He barrels down stuff. he just flies down stuff.
He was a racer kid, you know, which was great. Actually, that's what's kind of put him out there above a lot of people, is that he actually learned to make a turn and use his edge.
I think Jeremy's kind of gotten to legendary status now, and he deserves it in a lot of ways.
Victoria Jalouse has been, I think, the most impactful big mountain rider for me over the years.
13 years, I think I've been riding rides in Alaska.
She's one of the vets, you know. She's somebody that I look up to, and she's barely, you know, she'll outrun badass sloughs.
Victoria is in a league of her own, and I don't see anybody hot on her heels, that's for damn sure.
You're watching some of the lines she does, you think it's a guy out there charging hard.
She's done some lines I wouldn't do.
All credits to Victoria for sure. Like she's out there and it's with the boys, you know, and that's got to be tough.
They're my bros, but I do know that they have no idea what it's like to be me, and that how hard it is for me to gauge where I'm pushing myself, and I'm not killing myself trying to be Jeremy Jones.
Victoria was a downhill ski racer in Canada. As she grew up, same thing like Jeremy, she has a very good background.
She's got one of the nicest turns in the world.
I could watch Victoria do power turns all day long and be happy. That's been kind of the progression. It doesn't really stop, it just continues along.
Just when you think it can't get any more crazy, it does, you know, it goes to the next level.
Guys like Axel and Jeremy are definitely my heroes, but there's a whole new slew of heroes that are coming onto the scene.
Hello.
Sean Dog.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How's it looking up there?
Say the magic of 33 Mile is happening for sure up by the border.
Yeah, it looks pretty lousy here. Think we're gonna head up there though.
Right, there's a little north wind blowing, so I think it's gonna flush out of here.
All right.
All right, what time you guys want to start?
We'll leave here in about 20 minutes.
So till I'll be ready in about 45 or something.
Let's make it an hour.
All right, 8 o'clock start then.
All right.
There's too much silence in your head. Speech left thoughts and dead ideas mingle quietly. There's too much silence in your head.
What do you think? Like, should I go up with Schmitty and then if Nico is still there or if someone else?
It'd be ideal to have everybody out there just willing to chill
Yeah.
and see what happens.
The day I broke my toe, I thought everything was gonna be alright. The day I break my toe, I thought everything was gonna be alright. You never ever know just what is gonna go at you. You never ever know the day you break your toe. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I heard it all before. You said that you had changed. But when I said I love you, you tell me I hate.
Tomorrow's like probably decent, like today is decent, and then it goes right back to rain.
It's so cloudy this way.
Yeah.
On the drive up. It's moving that way. Bonds of Steel was like when we came there, it was the top was clouded.
Heli waiting.
Why is this not getting better out there? I think it was better when we woke up.
Woo! top of the roof.
Well, see, everybody wants to go up. Okay, let's go up, but I don't want to waste money for a shitty day, man. And that's gonna be a shitty day.
Sometimes we have had sessions where you would go out there and you don't get shit done, and you just keep flying, scoping, and it's like you're throwing your dollars into the rotor.
What's so hard in Big Mountain is how freaking hard it is to get a film part. There's just so few days where you really, it all just comes together, and that's why those days where it really does come together, those days are just magic.
A good year for me is if I can get 10 days filming where it all comes together. That's like a over-the-top year.
The accessibility is just so much more difficult than, say, driving around Salt Lake City with your bros, scoping handrails.
And anybody can go to a snowboard park with a video camera and just stand underneath a kicker with a wide-angle lens and get a shot. But to go film a line, you've got to wait for the perfect day. The conditions have to be just right.
It takes a lot of effort from a lot of different people to get a Big Mountain shot.
Well, I am scoping the cliff out. I'm definitely set up for the jump and not the cliff.
I'm gonna move my camera.
100 years from today, lamplights ablaze, face my way, till Jesus saves my early grave. I will be gone, gone, gone.
We're ready for you anytime, homie. It looked almost legit. Did you stop that? Not.
It's not easy. Like, to get your lines is not easy. Because it's like, in the snowboard videos, it looks so glamorous, right?
There's so many different things that go into making the perfect line happen on film.
The light, the snow has to be good. You have to land the trick.
And for the filmer to get it.
It's like the stars have to align pretty much.
Every year, the films need something more spectacular to top last year's. If it's just the same old stuff, even though it's incredible, the audience just sort of goes, we've seen that.
I love this stuff, and I want to be able to do it for a long time. So in that is just having a good time and knowing where to push it without being totally on the edge of death, you know.
Away from the danger zone.
Every time I go up to hit a line, I go, I want to hit that line, but if I get up there and I don't like it, I'm going to hit this mellow line. I'll just say, you know what, I don't like it. Just say no.
Which I think is the ultimate quality as a big mountain rider, is to know when to back off, you know, and especially when there's so much pressure to produce the video part and all these people are waiting on you.
That's one of the more difficult aspects of filming, is when so much time and energy and thought goes into making a shot happen, and then the rider falls. It's hard not to blame the rider, but till you're up there with those guys doing those same lines and doing them better than them, you have no grounds to say anything.
Oh, man. It sucks to screw something up.
It's okay, but you're just so hard on yourself sometimes that you don't really want to realize that you tried hard. It takes a lot of energy when you fall, but you just want to get back up there and like do it again, you know? You want to get it right. If you know you've got something during the day, you come back and you're stoked and happy.
Getting one good shot can just make you stoked for like a week.
Second transfer from Alaska. More aerial than some of my stuff. Cool.
It's always hard when you know you got a good shot and then you watch it and something went wrong. And you try not to be like pissed or pissed at them or whatever, because, you know, it's just the way it goes.
I don't know, getting a video part is just a ton of effort and a ton of work. It's super rewarding at the same time.
Videos in general have a big impact on kids. When I used to be a kid, I would watch every movie.
My first video I bought was Subject Hawkinson, and that just changed my life, for sure. Influenced me so much. The tape's all fucked up now. I've watched it so many times, and I just wanted to be like him.
I think the videos play a huge role in big mountain riding because it's pretty much the only avenue for people to see it. Like, I don't do contests, and I've never really enjoyed them, but I'm in this really lucky spot where I get to work my whole year, and as long as I get a film part done, you know, there's a lot of media exposure in that, and I get to keep my job.
You know, you don't have another venue out there besides for like the extreme contests, but they're more of a dangerous prospect in my mind.
The contest has to go down on a set day, and if the snow conditions aren't there, they're not there.
And competition in the mountains kind of, I think, can possibly push someone to do something that on that day they might not have done. And it puts people more in the ability to be hurt or killed.
When I did the Valdez snowboard contest, they just put a bad taste in my mouth. I found myself maybe riding a little faster than I should have been and coming up to a cliff and hoping I was in the right spot for my takeoff as opposed to knowing I was in the right spot. And I wasn't the only one that did sketchy things that day. Some people got real lucky that day. You know, near death in the contest for sure. On the flip side, I think it's rad. I mean, if people want to go out there and do it, it's kind of showcases the sport.
I think it's a good time. You know, everybody that we're competing against, it's like a big family, you know, because you want everybody to do well because you don't want to see anybody get hurt because what we're doing is one little mistake and, you know, you're not going home kind of deal.
It is one time a year where it's kind of a gathering where everyone from around the world gets together. Media from around the world can get a feel for what we do.
I think it's a representation of a small aspect of the sport. It's more of the billy goat extreme, at least, you know, the Verbier contest.
That place is scary. I was just happy to get down that thing alive, you know, and in one piece.
It's almost two different sports in itself, and it's just a totally different ball game.
People call me an extreme snowboarder. I go, I'm not an extreme snowboarder. I ride powder in perfect conditions in Alaska. You want to see extreme, you look to some of these Europeans and what they're doing. It's mountaineering descents. These guys that are literally riding with their axes for, you know, loss of edge or something is amazing to me, and that's taking it to another level.
Like Jerome and Didi.
Got Chamonix dudes. Those guys are doing some shit that, you know, shouldn't be done, you know?
They're doing stuff I wouldn't even think about doing.
It's incredible, but it's a whole different sensation because they're not riding much powder. They're basically going down things that most of us would consider ice climbs. What we do here is more of, it's more like surfing, you know, where you've got the beauty of the mountain just as you have the beauty of the wave and the plume of snow and the feeling of laying into a turn and knowing that that big plume is behind you and seeing the shadow of it on the slope ahead of you as you go down and so on. It's just an incredible thing.
So of course, you are supposed to call me tonight. You are supposed to call me tonight, we would have gone to the cinema, and after to the restaurant, the one you like in your street. We would have slept together, have a nice breakfast together, and then a walk in a park together. How beautiful is it? You would have said I love you in the cutest place on earth, where some little boys are dancing with the fairies. I would have waited like a week or two, but you never tried to reach me. No, you never called me back. You were dating that bitch blonde girl. If I find her, I swear, I'll kill her. I'll kill her. She stole my future. She broke my dream. I'll kill her. I'll kill her. She stole my future.
Down days blend together. It's basically Groundhog Day. Because you don't do much. Especially when it's raining. If it's not raining, then you know, you can cruise around, geek out, go try to get a shot of an eagle.
It could be the best trip of your life, or it could be the best fishing trip of your life. If you have a patience issue, this is a good place to learn, you know?
I thought it was a love story, but you're not ready for that. Me neither. I'll kill her. She stole my future. She broke my dream. I'll kill her. I'll kill her.
When you wake up in the morning and it's sunny, you're half filled with fear and half filled with hope. You know, you're like, it's gonna be so sick today, but you know yourself, you didn't come up there for shits and giggles. You know, you're going up there to, like, you know, do something.
And so your tension is there. You just trying to be in the mode, set in the mode.
The transition from 5 days of just cruising around town, doing hardly anything, and then you drive to the helicopter, and it's like 5 minutes later, you're standing on top of some crazy peak going, what am I doing here? You know, where's my hotel room? This is intense.
Dude, I haven't rode in a week. Okay, here we go. Let's bust out the cameras, and this will be one of the hardest lines I've ridden all year, but you know, here we go.
You got to work up the balls to drop into a lineup here, you know?
You have to crank yourself up a little bit.
You know, I do find myself sometimes, like, at the top of a line, wondering what the hell I was thinking, saying, I'm gonna do that, you know?
A couple of times, like, standing on the top, I'm like, no, don't worry, you'll see your friends again, you'll see your friends again. Remember that rock, remember that rock. To the left of the rock, to the left of the rock.
I get this crazy seize up in my legs every time I come here. It's almost like my legs don't want to go.
I've seen grown men cry getting out of the helicopter up there.
You know, it's not just the pressure of your sponsors, what you have to do good in this contest. It's the pressure of, I gotta stick half this or life might be in jeopardy.
Fear is such an important thing. If you have no fear, you will die.
It makes you go through all the, like, what-if scenarios. So you have, like, your outs.
For me, and I've heard Jeremy Jones say this before, and I back him on it 100%, is like, get me on the slope with my snowboard strapped to my feet and ready to ride, and it's easy. It's everything that comes before that that's so terrifying. It's like, holy, getting towed in the helicopter, and the winds are blowing around, and I gotta get out on this thing that's like the size of that coffee table.
A tow-in is when the helicopter doesn't have enough room to land on the peak, so he just hovers and puts one skid or one toe on the snow.
And then I'm out, and I'm trying to hold on to my snowboard, not get blown off the mountain by the frickin' rotor wash. And then I'm not even on top of my line. Oh my God, I gotta do this frickin' ridge walk, and I'm kind of good at billy goating, but it still scares the hell out of me. And okay, so I gotta get over there, and it's like full exposure on both sides, and nobody's even gonna see this for the movie. It's not even part of the film shot. Is it really worth it? And okay, no, I can do this. Just go one step at a time. I'm gonna make sure your feet are kicked in really well, and you can get there.
Sometimes just hiking to my lines is the most exciting moments of my life.
Okay, now I'm at the horizon line, and I still can't see over the edge, and just a little closer, and I'm gonna hold my snowboard up. Can you guys see me? Click, click. Can you guys see my snowboard?
You're over a big S-course. You should move now, dude.
But I mean, no matter what, even when they say it's good, walking towards the edge, even when you have all confidence because they're like, it's right ahead of you, dude, you're walking towards what looks like the edge of the world. Looking past that ridge, typically the only thing you can see is the valley bottom. And the valley bottom up here, you know, is 4,000 or 5,000 feet below you, you know?
Most of the lines, most of anything that you want to ride, it has a steady rollover, so you can usually only see about 20, 40 feet in front of you.
And the one feature that you're relying on in your camera, like your point of where you either have to turn or whatever, it like isn't there anymore.
Between there and there, you know your line exists in there somewhere, but you know, one wrong turn and you can definitely screw the pooch.
And then by the moment that you can finally see down your line and you get your board on, for me then it's totally calm. It's like, okay, it's not over, but the hard part's over.
Dropping in.
That's the coolest thing in snowboarding. You go in like 30 seconds, you experience the most wide range of emotions. You're on the top, you're scared, you're riding your line, it's like total tunnel vision, it's like total focus to where you're going. And then you come out the bottom and it's this overwhelming relief of joy and excitement and like the most purest, cleanest adrenaline buzz you'll ever feel. And that's the drug right there, is that hit.
Oh my God.
The thing with big mountain riding is there's such a wide array of hazards.
Just to name a few of the dangers, you have cornices. You know, they're giant, huge, sometimes, building size chunks of ice and snow that have developed over the course of season due to winds coming over ridges and depositing snow, and they're completely unstable.
Typically at the bottom of the big mountain stuff, you'll have a bergstrand, which is where the mountain meets the glacier, and you get some of them where they open up, and we call them catcher's mitts. Instead of being real nice where you go over, they open up like this, and it's like you look down, and it's just like looking into the mouth of some monster. You know, you see blackness down there.
Slough management all of a sudden turning into slough disaster.
Once you drop in, it's like you got this constant wave chasing you, the slough. It brings like another element into snowboarding. The mountain is suddenly alive.
I think the scariest thing with big mountain riding is the exposure you're on, you know, the length of the vertical, 3,000 feet plus.
You make a mistake and you're falling for a long time.
Like a ragdoll all the way down the mountain. It sucks.
It's like centrifugal force, and you can't even keep yourself tight anymore because you're just ragging so fast that you're like full starfish, and it's trying to tear your arms off.
And then you're like approaching features, you know, that you were supposed to get away from.
You just don't want to fall up here, man. There's heavy consequences every time.
Pumping a gold sovereign. What if maybe we lived round this state? What if maybe I had a different bunch of mates? What if maybe Logan was someone else and we never watched the films on his dad's top shelf? Ooh, what if maybe? Ooh, what if maybe? Ooh, what if maybe I hadn't have met you? No, I hadn't have met you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Maybe then I got in with a king. Maybe he'd have took me under his wing. Maybe that night I'd have gone with him and we'd ended up as cellmates in Belmarsh prison. Maybe then I got all that kit. Maybe I'd have stuck with that music. Maybe I'd
One thing that's overlooked a lot is that it's actually a real, like, teamwork situation.
It's not really competitive. You got your bros, they're backing you up, you know. They're like, okay, I'm gonna ride this thing, and sure, I'm pushing myself and I'm on the edge, but I got all my buddies here and they're backing me up and they think I can do it, and if I go down, I got the right help.
Oh my God. What the fuck? That was so sketchy.
Jonathan, right now, there's no other snowboarder I'd rather be in the mountains with. He doesn't force it. He's dedicated his life to it. He just loves being out there, and he pushes it, too.
Good style and, like, progressive freestyle into the big mountain. I want to see more of Jonathan for sure.
You know, the guy's psychotic, calculated, but psychotic in the fact that he just steps to big lines, big burly lines, rides them fast, and throw a backside 180 and going 40.
Just this whole deal with Alaska is crazy.
He runs it super low budget up here, and it's kind of impressive, really, the way he does it. He kind of camps out.
You know, he uses the resources he has and saves money, and so he can heli more.
It's hard to be just a free rider in the world. You know, there's not a lot of money in just being a mountain rider.
It sucks that we risk our lives so much and then we just barely scrape by and pay the bills. But it's definitely a lifestyle that, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Maximum risk, minimum gain, like.
I get enough to get by and I do all right, but definitely the reason that I'm still doing it is just because I frickin' love it,
I work hard in the summer and I save up a bunch of money to come here, and
Ashley Call is just a really well-rounded, amazing snowboarder.
With good style and good flow down the mountain. And he's Alaskan, which, you know, that's always a good thing.
Gets very little support from the industry. That's the one negativity about the sport, not totally embracing big mountain riding, is seeing a guy like Ashley struggle for sponsors, or even a guy like Jonathan Moore struggle for sponsors, when there's 500 freestylers out there getting super supported.
So many people consider it not to be a very marketable aspect of snowboarding.
I don't know. Big mountain riding, I don't think anybody can really appreciate it until they've been in similar situations.
It's like so hard to understand how steep or how challenging it is by a film shot.
When I started getting into snowboarding a lot, and all I cared about was like freestyle and jumps and halfpipe, and I never really like paid attention to the big mountain parts in videos too. I was like, oh, it's so boring. Can't even see his grab or so, you know, like, what the fuck? And then in 2001, the whole crew was like, hey, we're going to Alaska. And then I just tagged along, and I was definitely a little scared. But ever since then, I came back, and more and more, it's the greatest thing for me in the season.
And hopefully the younger people in Utah will get it, because people they look up to certainly don't. You know, if you're at a certain age and you're given an opportunity and you're, you know, going to like Helsinki with your travel budget, you got issues, you know.
Come on, man, like, fuck, who cares? Like, it's all in good fun.
Like,
dude, I'd for sure take a wrong turn, like, end up off some cliff. Like, I'd just die, so that's why I don't do it.
Of course, it's very inaccessible to so many people, but so is big wave riding in Hawaii. It's not accessible, but that's where the frontier is.
Funny how time flies, waking up together. It's funny how it flies, falling down alone, running from these lies, holding it together, running these rhythms straight down to the bone. Where do you fit in? The red on.
3 feet deep, 300-yard wide Avi on Perky Spines.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
So what's the mayor saying?
I'd say be careful. Maybe kind of... be just a little careful. Yeah.
No, Group 1, me, Jonathan, and Chris are calling it to make it, to let it settle.
Out here on the North Rim, a real faithful, we're skiing a foot to a foot and a half of light density POW. Really good snow. We haven't had any releases here yet.
There's always avalanche risks up there, which you try your best to deter with digging avalanche pits, knowledgeable guides, transceivers, which you hope you never get to that point where you need to actually use them. It's basically all prevention. Safety lies within prevention, because once something goes wrong, you know, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Avalanches are probably the most difficult one, I think, to deal with because they aren't always obvious. Every avalanche professional that I know has been caught, usually more than once. Ski patrollers get caught usually about every third year or so.
Every year I come up here and spend more than 2 or 3 weeks here, then, you know, then I have a close call.
No matter how good you are at assessing the snow, there's going to come a time when a slope will slide that you aren't expecting.
It's like the shark factor. The mountain's just gonna eat me and I got nothing to say about it.
My pit data from Buns of Steel was not good. We aborted the run.
I think your biggest ally up here in Alaska is prevention and knowledge and being able to make a call to back off something if you don't feel it's the right decision. You basically have your instincts and nothing else.
If you look at how many people we've lost in snowboarding, you know, death is a real factor, and it's very intimidating.
Everybody's gotta live, and everybody's gonna die. Everybody's gotta live. I think you know the reason why. Sometimes
It's heavy for sure, and I think I've lost a lot of friends in the mountains, and it's something where I'm not gonna quit doing it because of that. You know, I love it, and clearly they loved it. There's people dying all over the world, man, and they're not nearly lucky enough to do this stuff, you know. You know, at least my bros that have died in the mountains, you know, they were having a freaking blast in their life, and they were happy people, you know.
The possibilities are always there for everybody, like just whatever you're doing, any time. So everything's a risk, but in the end, the snowboarding part of it's super fun.
A lot of accidents happen in the mountains. I look at, you know, Craig or Tristan. I mean, I relate that to like getting hit by a car on the street. Like those things are just such random, unpredictable fluke situations. You know, they weren't like doing some ridiculous stunt or anything.
I myself have been pretty close, fell in a crevasse up in Alaska, and it definitely made me think about stuff in a different way. It made me love life even more, and it wanted me to go snowboarding even more.
Walking out the door and being afraid to die is no reason not to live.
Why I do it, I definitely go back and forth on it, and I think a lot about it, but I think just the fulfillment that I get being in the mountains is worth the risks for me.
I don't know, why ask why? I don't really think I could explain profusely why I push my own limits up here.
I feel better than any other time, and I can't explain it, you know?
It's this feeling that I get surfing, you know. Big mountain for sure is the same for me. Your brain shuts down and you live in these moments, and it's something that is really hard to explain, but it's the best feeling ever.
I don't know. It's what makes me tick, I guess.
I just feel in control of the world, I guess. I don't know.
You feel like you've done something really good, but in fact you didn't really do anything but being happy. So I think that's already something really big. By being happy, you you support the global happiness.
Why do I push my limits up here? Because I'm pretty much totally extreme. I'm gonna have to go with the extreme factor on that one. X.
It's 8 o'clock and I'm feeling fine. I'm out on a date tonight in a candlelit restaurant down by the riverside. Everything's going alright, I guess. She took down my number and home address. Everything was going perfectly until it backfired at the disco. She slapped me at the disco. I did something I'll never forget. It wasn't shot a blind build, not to impress, more a sleazy remark on her whorish dress. My wires crossed like they'd never done before. Well, it's 3 o'clock and I'm feeling shine. I'm going home alone tonight. Everything was going perfectly until it backfired at the disco. She slapped me at the disco. I did something I'll never forget. It backfired at the disco. We were dancing at the disco. Things well out of context. Yeah, it backfired at the disco. We were dancing at the disco. Yeah, it backfired at the disco. And you slapped me at the disco. Yeah, it backfired at the disco. We were dancing at the disco. Yeah, it backfired at the disco. And you slapped me at the disco.
I know it's there, letting burning to shine out. I know it's there, itching, scratching, just a shout, buried treasure, say, waiting for perfect breezes,